And streaming live on the First Federal Facebook page.
Yes, indeed, it is Friday morning. It's a little cloudy, but sitting at 66 degrees, and we welcome in Todd Van Sickle to the studio for the First Federal program.
Thank you, Paul. Good morning.
Good morning.
Beautiful, well, it's going to be a beautiful, warm weekend out there.
Yes.
Yeah. We welcome Karmin, Reeves, and Andrew Horstman from Habitat for Humanity today. They'll be joining us maybe in discussion in the middle of the show, but we have some special discussion at the end of the show about Habitat for Humanity and their history and all the great things they're doing for our community. So, hot weekend it looks like, Paul.
Yes, yeah. Close to 90 tomorrow, and then Sundays, mid-80s, but we see that chance of showers and thunderstorms.
Yeah. Well, we could always use rain.
Need that.
We need the rain. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Well, summer started Wednesday,
Yes, it did.
the summer solstice. Did you do anything special to celebrate it?
Hung out in front of a pool in Shelbyville.
That's good. That's a good place to be on Wednesday. I think, if I recall, it's pretty warm.
Yeah, it was nice out.
It was nice and fun.
So, summer solstice on Wednesday. That's when the Earth's axis is tilted towards the sun. The northernmost point is pointing towards the sun. The longest day of the year. Also celebrated at Stonehenge by the Druids. I saw something on the news. How there are people celebrating sunrise and sunset there. I didn't do anything like that. You celebrated a pool. I think I just worked.
That would have been my plan.
Well, you were working.
Yeah, I mean, I was still working.
So I tried to come up with some space news. It was pretty hard to find today.
Yeah.
So I did see that there was a probe that went within 1,100 miles of Mercury and took some pictures, I think in the past couple of weeks. So that was pretty interesting, I thought.
Yeah.
Pretty hard to find a story about it. You had to go behind some paywalls to see that. Now, really wasn't willing to do that.
We don't want to pay for that stuff.
Yeah. So I had some tech talk today.
All right.
You in the market for a new phone or anything?
Not right now.
Good. Well, I got this from the Wall Street Journal, and what the Wall Street Journal says is that there's an article about that. There's some obvious life rules, what the article stated, and like there's a rule about iPhones. iPhones have no buy in the summer rules because you just shouldn't buy them when school's out because they're always coming out with a new one in September. So if anybody's out there in the market, hold on for a phone because new things coming out in September. And the iPhone's actually making a pretty big change this year. They're going away from their Lightning charger plug to a USB-C kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
Basically do what everybody else in the world does.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah, it should be easy to charge going forward, and that means all those headphones that you had in the past, you may need to buy new ones if you're not using Bluetooth headphones.
Yeah.
Maybe that's part of the flow too. You know?
It could very well be.
So we're welcoming Habitat for Humanity today. They have a great history in Fulton County. Our trivia question is going to be about Habitat for Humanity.
Okay.
So if you listen closely during the show, you may hear some clues.
I might.
And we've talked about some clues as we were preparing for the show with some things we're going to talk about.
Now I can hear the question.
Yes. They completed their first house in 1999. How many houses has Fulton County Habitat for Humanity built?
Okay.
16, 17, 18, or 19?
Okay.
So you can do the math in your head, but the math may not work out, you know?
Yeah.
So Tanner gave us some sports news today. Tanner's off on assignment today.
Yeah. Assignment.
Maybe celebrating his bachelor party.
It's an assignment, just not for First Federal, more
Right.
for the future Mrs. Stanton Lee.
So Wyndham Clark won the first U.S. major PGA Tour victory this past week, the U.S. Open. Watched part of that. It was pretty entertaining, I thought. It was Rory McIlroy and Ricky Fowler in contention. If you like golf, it was a good event to watch.
Yes.
I always like seeing how tough they make the courses with the rough, and you know, some of it was ankle and knee high. It seemed like, and kind of like parts of my yard sometimes.
Yeah. That's when sometimes somebody says anything to me about my yard, I'm just trying to help the golf course with the next group.
And if somebody hits in your yard from the golf course, they have a very wayward shot.
Yes, very. But
that's probably a penalty stroke or two.
Yeah, probably. I've seen him pretty close to the road.
Okay.
So.
I just played through everything in his yard.
Yeah.
grab a burger off the grill and just keep going, right?
Yeah.
We'll be talking about golf in a little bit too, because Habitat has a great golf outing coming up soon, and we're still looking for teams and sponsors, and we'll talk about that in a few minutes. Other sports news: Cubs and Cardinals are playing in London this weekend. I don't recall
Yes.
things like that ever happening. I think there's been some Mexico City games,
Yeah.
but the Cubs and Cards are kind of a heated rivalry, and they're
Yeah.
playing in London. They're going to introduce that rivalry to London folk.
Good. Hopefully, I've got a friend over that way, so hopefully he actually watches because he's always asking me questions about baseball. He's like, I don't understand it.
Well, I kind of like it. On Sunday they play at 10 a.m., so you can get up early and still have part of the day.
Yeah.
After you go to church, watch the game.
You know.
And then on Saturday it's at 1 o'clock, so Sunday at 10 o'clock on ESPN and Saturday at 1 o'clock on Fox.
Okay.
They're playing at the Queen Elizabeth Park. That's where they had the Olympics in 2012.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
I saw a time-lapse video where they were converting the field from just a soccer field, what it's used for mainly now, into a baseball diamond. That was pretty interesting. The NBA draft was held last night.
Yeah.
Do we care? No,
I mean, somebody might. I know.
it's confusing to me because I was watching a little bit after I watched the LSU
Wake Forest.
Wake Forest. Thank you, Karmin. College World Series game. They were playing to see who got in the finals, and LSU won with a walk-off homer in the 11th inning. But as Karmin and I were talking this morning, great pitching, 100-mile-an-hour pitchers, 0 runs, hardly anybody on base in the first 9 innings. A lot of people think that's dull baseball, but I think that's what baseball's all about.
Mm-hmm.
Pitchers do
Phenomenal pitching.
and great defense, yeah.
And yes.
So the NBA draft last night, the Pacers drafted somebody that's number 7, then traded him for number 8,
Yeah.
and ended up with Jerace Walker from Houston. He's a one-and-done player.
Yeah.
The draft was too confusing because it showed somebody coming up, but they traded it to somebody else, who traded it to somebody else. But I didn't understand this. Why do you pick somebody at 7, trade him for number 8? It was just confusing to me.
Yeah.
A couple Indiana Hoosiers were drafted last night. Jalen Hood-Schifino from IU was drafted 17 by the LA Lakers.
Okay.
That's probably a good opportunity for him to play with LeBron. And Trace Jackson Davis was drafted 57th to the Golden State Warriors. I think they're kind of on their downswing a little bit now, but it's a good team for them. Hopefully they're both successful.
Yeah.
So that's our sports news today. Tanner gave us some tidbits. On this day in 1926, the College Board administered the first SAT exam in the United States.
Ooh.
SAT test used to be a requirement to get in college. So I think they're getting away from that now through COVID and more things. But some of us have probably always taken the SAT at some point in time.
Back then it was just called College Boards when I took it.
Okay, college boards, okay. This day in 1989, Batman starred Michael Keaton and Jack Nicholson premiered. I haven't seen too many Batman movies, but I do remember that one. That was a good one with Jack.
It's a good one.
Jack Nicholson was the Joker, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
On this day, you're a gamer, Paul, aren't you?
Yeah, I can be considered.
On this day in 1996, Nintendo 64 went on sale in Japan.
Okay. I like the 64.
Have a couple days today. National Porridge Day. Are you a big porridge fan?
No.
I'm not a porridge fan either. But head shaking no from Andrew and Karmin in the studio here. National Take Your Dog to Work Day.
I did not do that.
You got a big dog, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Probably wouldn't be much room for that.
He'd sit by my desk and not move, but, you know.
National Let It Go Day. That's kind of a good thing.
Yes.
Just let it go, you know?
Great advice.
We could all use that. International Women in Engineering Day. That's a good day.
Okay.
Need more women in engineering.
Yeah.
My granddaughter is an engineer.
That's great. National Typewriter Day.
Okay.
Does anybody remember what those are?
Yeah, they're
Yes.
coming on obsolete.
Coming obsolete. You know, I always thought, like, maybe I should try to type on a typewriter again just to see, like the old manual kind, just to see, have I learned anything over the years?
I haven't.
I have
And it's Public Service Day, which Habitat is here today. They're great public service, an opportunity for people to get involved in our community. So we have some upcoming events. The Times Theater is showing The Secret Life of Pets tomorrow morning at 9:30.
Okay.
Concessions will be open, and the Fulton County Animal Adoption Center and Education Center is a sponsor of the movie, and they'll have kittens for adoption.
Ooh, kittens. So go watch a movie and get a kitten.
Mhm.
That's what every parent
Perfect
wants,
Saturday.
right? Bring home more kittens.
Yeah.
Also, we have Andrew Horstman here today with REMC. They have their annual meeting on Monday, on June 26th. Andrew, do you want to speak to that for a few minutes?
Yeah, it's our annual meeting, just like you said. It's the opportunity for our members to vote on board of directors. We are hosting a drive-through meeting like we have in the past. Only change is we are having it at our office. So it's at our office, voting starts at noon, goes through 6 p.m., business meeting at 6:30, and that'll be streamed on Facebook Live.
Okay, that's good. So if anyone wants to get involved, drive through. That when you vote, when you drive through?
Yep, you're going to drive through, you'll stop at a couple stations, you'll meet some candidates, get your ballot, drop the ballot off, we got a goodie bag for you, we got some ice cream, you get bill credit for showing up, so
That's great.
lots of fun stuff just for maybe 5 minutes of your time to drive through and vote for our directors.
And Paul's arranging great weather for that, so it won't be raining or anything like that.
Trying.
Yeah.
We'll make it happen.
And people will be in their cars, so if it is hot, you can still stay with the air conditioning.
Correct.
Just the people from REMC that are standing outside may be hot, but
We deal with it. We do it for our members, and make sure everything goes smooth. We try to do a lot of planning and prep for it to make sure the flow works, and we get you in and out as easy as possible.
and this is great for the REMC members. I mean, it's a way to be involved and make a difference and influence how things are happening.
Correct.
So great, thank you, Andrew. That's Monday noon to 6 at the REMC office, right?
Yep. Nailed it.
Great. Money news. Dow was down a few points yesterday,
Yep.
33,941. Kind of an up and down week, just like every week and every
Yeah.
month and every year, it seems like, recently. Recently, General Motors did announce that they're building a site near Carlisle, Indiana, northern Indiana, near the Michigan border, to build their 4th battery cell plant for the production of its electric vehicles. So that kind of ties into REMC too. I mean, now we've got at least 2 battery plants in Indiana under construction, I think, Andrew.
Yep, that's correct. There is a big push for electric vehicles right now. The consumer demand is high for them, as well as the federal government's thinking they're a good idea. So we're trying to be prepared for that and make sure that when our members decide it's time for them to get an EV, we're ready to help.
Great. So this plant is being built with GM and Samsung. I think Samsung and Stellantis are doing the same thing in Kokomo. Stellantis. This will be $3 billion in investment starting next year. It'll open in 2026. Projected to create 1,700 jobs, and the construction is to support 1,000 jobs. So that's always good for our economy, and that's here in northern Indiana, so that's good for us too. First Federal Savings Bank is open today and tomorrow. We're open today from 8:30 to 5, and tomorrow from 8:30 to noon. You can always bank with us online through our online mobile application, our retail banking online. Always get money from our ATM. We have a couple specials going on now. CD rates are up. We're offering a 5.1% annual percentage yield CD for 10 months, and that's the highest rate that I've been in banking 40 plus years, and that's the highest rate probably in the last 10 years that I can think of. So if you're thinking about investing some money, come check us out. Get a great rate for 10 months at 5.1% APY. We also offer simply free checking accounts, free business checking accounts. And when you get a new checking account, you get a free gift. And I brought our free gift today for the people on Facebook Live.
Yeah.
It's a interesting
Cool
insulated
looking-
tumbler.
Yeah, it's cool
Got
looking little pineapple.
Yeah, got a set of sunglasses on and a little pineapple top. So that you can get that one, or one looks like a watermelon kind of too.
Okay.
So those are nice gifts for the summer, celebrating the start of summer this
Yeah.
week. So you can get that by opening a Simply Free checking account or Simply Free business checking account. Or as we say, Paul, you always make referrals. You can get one by making a referral.
Exactly.
This one may stay here as a gift to you today, so just thanks for all you do for us.
Well, thank you.
Well, you also have a loan special too. You get $1,000 lender credit for standard closing costs on all purchase fixed rate loans that are sellable, that are disclosed now through June 30th. So that's ending in a couple weeks, or actually a week now.
Yeah.
And you get a $750 lender credit for qualified refinance transaction through June 30th. So we're still in the business of making commercial loans. We have Lindy Breeden for small businesses. Contact him. You can contact Mark Blubaugh and Brian Bell for our financial services. If you have any questions about planning for retirement or 401ks, you can like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, and subscribe to our YouTube channel where you can see, if you have an interest, the history of the shows for the last 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, it's really cool.
We're the only locally owned bank in Fulton County. As Dick Belcher says, we don't want to be the biggest bank, just the best. Borrowers must meet underwriting guidelines. We are FDIC insured, an equal housing lender, and our MLS number is 3999927.
Got it. That makes sense.
You taught me a trick there, so I got it.
I
right.
did.
That's how you do
I
it
saw
too.
that out.
Well, we want to welcome Karmin Reeves again and Andrew Horstman from the Habitat for Humanity.
It's great to be here again.
We do a lot of great things for the community. Carmen's board president of Fulton County Habitat and held that role for many years during your tenure with Habitat. And Andrew was a board member, getting more involved in some things. And why don't you, Carmen, we were talking about a little history of Habitat. Why don't you refresh my memory of what we talked about when it started and how it started? And
Okay, it started in 1999 when the Fulton County Leadership Academy just wondered about if Fulton County would qualify or need housing for people, and they found out it did. And in actually 96 is when they started that. And then by 98 they found out it would work. They had been in contact with Habitat International, and they were approved as a 501c3 in 1998. And the first house was built in 1999. And that person has since paid off their house, because back then the first 5 houses were 20-year loans. Now we have gone up to 30-year loans.
to make it more affordable, that's part of the key.
Correct. And the thing is you know, people think they get a free house. That is not true. They pay a mortgage plus the escrow, which for those of you that don't know, escrow is the insurance for the year, your choice of who to get it from, and the taxes for the year.
That makes sure the house stays insured and taxes are paid. And so
Absolutely. And then the only thing that will change for your payment is if it becomes appraised more and your taxes raise, or if your insurance raises or lowers. It could go either way. The mortgage itself stays the same.
So that's, you just hit a myth that, you know, it's not a free house, you end up paying for the house.
You do. But our most expensive house, and this is for those of you that think you would like to qualify, see if you qualify, our most expensive house payment right now is about $550 a month. Where can you rent right now a house with 2, 3, well, we have 3 bedrooms or more, depending on the size of the family that has been approved.
And the other thing about Habitat is they put sweat equity into the house, to hours that they put in to
Correct.
before they get in the house.
Every adult must give 250 community hours, which means not totally on the bill, and every child actually is, it's either 10 or 15 hours over the bill time. And you think, what can a child do? I can tell you, way back when we built Mercy Murphy's on 12th and Main, Kai was like 6 years old. He put every screw, I believe, in the entire house to put the plates on the electrical outlets. Yes, he was supervised. Yes, his mother was there, but they helped that way. Another thing is, sometimes our builders and people who are volunteering aren't real clean and leave around cans and
Just
trash,
construction trash, yeah.
and therefore the kids can pick it up. and put it in things so they feel a part of it.
Well, thank you, Karmin, for giving that information about a little history and the purpose of it. You have a big event coming up soon with the golf outing, and maybe let's let Andrew speak to the golf outing for a few minutes.
Yes.
Andrew, so the golf outing is coming up. What is the date on that?
It's July 29th. Kickoff tee time is 9 a.m. We would love to have you register for a team. Teams of 4 are greatly appreciated. We also do hole sponsors, so if you want to get your business out there on a hole, let everybody see it. It'll be a great time. We'll have food, and we'll have sodas and waters, and maybe door prizes, donuts. So it should be a really, really fun day.
Lunch comes with that too? Yeah.
Yes, correct. Yes.
So I know that you have some teams entered already, but kind of time's running out, so if you have an interest,
Yeah, get in. It's this is the premier golf opportunity here in Rochester.
oh, I agree. I've played in it
I mean,
before.
it is
Yeah.
really something special. So I would hate for you to miss out. So yeah, definitely get your team in early.
Teams are
so
$250.
you get your spot.
Yeah.
Yep. Yes, we got team sponsorship, $250. Hole sponsor is $100. You can do a team and a hole for $300. So we give you a little bit of a break there if you do a team and a hole sponsorship. So we're still taking teams. We can take donations for door prizes, hole prizes. We'll be happy to take whatever donation you want to make, and it'll just make the day even more better than it already is.
So if you're a small business that can't field a team, do a hole sponsor, donate something.
Yes.
It all adds up, and all the proceeds go to Habitat for the next build, basically.
Yep.
And you have some building projects. You finished a house last year,
August.
August of last year, and you have a building project going on now for Habitat. Why don't you talk a little bit about that, Karmin?
Okay. We applied for a grant from ARPA, and we got $90,000. $60,000 was for a building that is going to have our storage area. Plus, we do have an office space and a bathroom and a conference room in there. So it is continuing being built now. We just finished with the priming. We're getting ready to paint the 3 main areas next week on Wednesday. And we do have some volunteers that come in and paint, but the more that we can get, as long as I have paintbrushes and or rollers, we are happy to put you to work, and the more there is there, the less time it'll take to finish painting it.
So you can check that information out on the Facebook page, right?
Correct.
I know you guys do a great job with social media, and there's lots of posts about social media.
Yes.
And you support our other organizations through social media too.
We do.
That's great. So when I learn a little more about volunteer opportunities, and your building, where is it located?
It is located on Franklin Street, right behind House of Decor.
Okay. Kind of behind
For
the
a
bank, kind of
reference.
catty corner to the bank a little bit.
Catty corner to First Federal,
Yeah.
and thanks to First Federal, that is how we got the lot.
Well, I wasn't fishing for that.
I know, but they did, and that was a great find, and we felt like that was a great place to put a Habitat building, and hopefully we will have some hours available on a trial basis, possibly Saturday mornings. We'll have to field that out once we are in the building.
Well, that's all attributable to our founder and leader, Dick Belcher.
Absolutely.
And he's instilled that legacy with us and of the staff, and there's some of our staff's been involved on the board before, and some
We
of
have
the volunteers.
always had
Yeah.
a First Federal person on the board, at least one, if not more.
Thank you for that plug for us. We appreciate it.
Well, thank you for everything you do for Habitat as well.
But with the building, I mean, you mentioned storage. I mean, as you build a house, sometimes there's materials left over that you use for the next house, and it is a needed facility because a lot of that stuff has been stored in your garage, I think, sometimes.
And some of that is still in my garage until we totally get moved in. We did fortunately have a move day that we moved some of the cabinets out, and we were donated cabinets from a house that was remodeling, and then we got donated office desk and filing cabinet from a person who was moving to Mexico, and they didn't sell it at a garage sale or on Marketplace, and called and asked if we wanted it. I said absolutely.
What's kind of unique about Habitat is they do servicing their own loans, which is a big endeavor. And I know that people on your board work on that, and that's why you kind of need an office for that, because some of the work's done in people's homes, I know, and you have lots of meetings to plan, and it's a good meeting facility for that too.
Correct.
So storage,
The big thing is that, the other thing is we invested, I don't know if, well, many of you out there remember Donnie Williams. Donnie Williams and Don Christensen and Arnie Snipe, I used to call them the Three Amigos. They were there at every house build. And when Donnie died and a lot of donations came in his honor, we turned that into tools.
kind of a tool like
Because
yeah.
everybody normally brings their own tools, and as we get older, we felt like all of a sudden we needed to invest in some that we would have around and continue to use. Some of them even got misplaced. I won a saw one year at Indiana Conference, and we don't know where that is. So we do know where all Donnie's is, and it's now
In a secure
either
place. Yeah.
in my garage or the Habitat building. And it will all be in the Habitat building once we get moved in.
And you mentioned those three individuals. When I moved to town, I participated in some of the builds, and it was always great. I'm a banker. I don't know much about building, but I'd go in there, and Donnie would say, "Do this, do that," and like show me how to do it. And it's a great group that kind of established a legacy for where you're going now.
Yes, and we still have quite a few. Scott Zion is our vice president and co-building chair with Bill Walsh, and they also help people and teenagers as well that have come through, because we do have 3 teenagers on our board,
That's great.
and they have learned how to use things.
And then after you finish this build for your office storage facility, you anticipate having future builds, and you're planning for that. That's what the golf outing raises money for. And so the next build happened this year, next year. What do you think?
We are hoping to get a qualified family very shortly, and as soon as they have their 75 hours in per adult, then we will ground break, and that of course will be on social media as well as everything else that we can use, and hope to see people out there for that particular build.
And I know Rochester Homes helps out with that too.
Many times Rochester Homes, we have 7 of our homes that have been built from Rochester Homes. All the rest of them have been built stick built.
Okay. So you have other opportunities. Always check out the social media pages, because they're always highlighting something. Like in the last week, I know that there was a Dairy Queen night.
Correct. We do have fundraisers. We have 2 more fundraisers at Dairy Queen. One is September and one is December, and they're both the 3rd Tuesday.
Okay.
Just so people know, it is on Tuesday. And at any rate, we're looking forward to getting many more whole sponsors, because that directly goes into the fundraising.
Yeah, so that's for the golf outing. Andrew,
The
why don't
golf
you
outing.
remind us again what's out there?
Yeah, this is, again, Fulton County's premier golf outing this summer. Habitat for Humanity, July 29th. It's in the morning. Team sponsor, get your team together, $250. You want to do a whole sponsor, it's $100. That goes directly into the building fund. Team and whole sponsorship, $300. So it's pretty cheap for 4 people to come out and have an absolutely fantastic morning on the golf course.
So if they want to register, how do they get information, and who do they contact?
Again, you hit it. Facebook has information about it, and you can contact one of the board members. We're not too hard to find. I don't know how many board members total we have, Karmin.
21.
We have 21 board members.
Excuse me, 23.
She said 23, update. So you probably know somebody on the Habitat board. So get with them, let them know, and we're looking forward to an absolutely great Saturday morning on July 29th.
And I know some of the board members are very actively involved, so you have a great board.
We do have a great board. We have we're all volunteer board. We have nobody paid on our board, and we all work doing different things and pull this. I cannot thank the community enough for all their support, from grants. Our mortgages go back into builds so that all those mortgages feed into getting money for our
So it's
next
kind of like
bill.
the cycle of life. You build a house, the people make payments, that goes back into that Habitat treasuries, which help build the next house.
Correct. Plus many of the grants, as well as other cash donations from individuals, churches, businesses that donate directly to Habitat. We can't thank this community enough. It's a wonderful community.
So if the golf outing is not your cup of tea to participate in, you can mail checks to Habitat, and the address is,
Post Office Box 843, Rochester.
that's great. You do great things for the community. Thank you, Karmin and Andrew, for being the guests this morning. There's a lot of houses that you've built, and anything you'd like to add as we kind of wrap up the Habitat for discussion?
We're looking forward to continuing to build Rochester and get some other people in the homes.
And we hope to see you at the golf outing on July 29th.
We certainly do.
Always nice weather, it seems like. So, yeah, we'll make sure that happens again. So, trivia question today, Paul. With the first house completed in 1999, how many houses has Fulton County Habitat for Humanity built? 16, 17, 18, or 19?
You know, I tried to do the math and it didn't work out in my head very well.
But you have to think COVID was in there too.
Yeah, I know. And
You did close one.
I know, I think we've talked 3 times at least.
Oh, easily.
And I remember 16. I just don't remember which time we talked about it, 16. So I'm going to go 18.
Okay. Karmin?
We have built 17. Our next home will be 18.
Yeah, you're planning
You're
ahead.
pretty close.
Ah.
You're thinking we have a family that will qualify, and very shortly we'll know, and that'll be advertised.
That's great. So it will be 18, so you're partially right.
Yeah.
And don't forget to check our webpage.
Right.
And it is all www, all one word, Fulton County Habitat for Humanity.org.
We'll close with some words of wisdom from the founder of Habitat for Humanity, Millard Fuller. And this seems very appropriate for our community especially. For a community to be whole and healthy, it must be based on people's love and concern for each other.
Those are great words of wisdom. Well, Todd, thank you so much for hosting today. And thank you guys for being here, and good luck at the golf outing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great job.
Good job.
Thank you.
It goes out everything.
Yeah.
Sorry, Paul, I didn't mention the 17.